meeting of the Metropolitan Area Planning Agency Board of Directors will be conducted in compliance with the Nebraska statutes of the Open Meetings Act. For reference, the Open Meetings Act is posted on the wall of the board. Roll call, please.
Mayor John Ewing,
Jacqueline Morrison.
Commissioner Mike Friend, Mayor Rusty Hike,
Here.
Mayor Doug Kendig, Commissioner David Klug,
Here.
Councilmember Don Rowe,
Here.
Mayor Jill Shudak, Supervisor Brian Shea,
Here.
Mayor Angie Winquist.
Here. And I'll ask for a motion for the approval of the agenda with an update of removing item H1-A.
Second, sure.
Morrison,
Yes.
Hike, Klug,
Yes.
Rowe,
Yes.
Shea.
Aye.
Winquist.
Yes. The motion to approve the May 28 board minutes.
So moved.
Second, Morrison. Roll call, please.
Morrison,
Yes.
Hike,
Yes.
Klug,
Yes.
Rowe,
Yes.
Shea,
Aye.
Winquist.
Yes. Now the regular agency reports and presentations. So we have the executive director's report first, Mike.
Yes. No formal presentation today, just a few updates along the way. So back earlier in June, we had our Council of Officials meeting down at Papillion Landing. And so thanks to all of you who were able to join us down there. And it was really just a great showcase of all of the work that we've been able to do over the last year on implementing our Safe Streets for All plan. We had presentations from the city of Omaha and Pottawatomie County about their work on Safe Streets for All, and really a great presentation from our MAPA team, both on our EMOTO policy work that we're going to talk a little bit later on the agenda about, but then also on the work around our recent Safe Streets for All grant application to do capacity building around EMS. And so really kind of a different path for us, but one that as we got into the planning and the implementation, a lot of support for some of these equipment purchases to support both whole blood, provide kind of life-saving measures to people involved in those crashes, and then really just additional resources for some of the fire districts and fire departments around the region. So exciting project. We've had great feedback on that. So it was really exciting to have that. We don't have Mayor Kindig here today, but a group of us went down to Tulsa for the NARC regional conference. Jacqueline was among them, and she got to snap a bunch of photos of Mayor Kindig receiving that Tom Bradley Leadership Award. And so that was really exciting for us. And then we also had Carlos Morales. Oh, he's there. Carlos actually did a presentation at that as well, just about some of the funding mechanisms that MAPA uses, some of the innovative ways that we leverage our federal funding and try to find kind of non-traditional partnerships with our members as well. We had a lot of news coverage about the Safe Streets for All grant. Jim did a great job of talking a little bit about that partnership with those EMS agencies, fire districts and fire departments as well. And then yesterday, just on the heels of our budget update last month, we did receive notification from the EPA yesterday that we did not receive that regional brownfields grant. This was an assessment grant to really kind of in partnership with the city of Omaha. But last week, we also were graced by a bunch of staff from Region 7, really talking about some of the other resources available. And so we're looking ahead to the next round, and we'll continue that partnership with our members, but just one update there. And then finally, this time of year, we always are talking about our partnership with the Nebraska Department of Transportation around August redistribution. And so this is a time of year where states that are unable to use all of their obligation authority, so all of the ability to spend apportionment. So like, they have the promise in the apportionment and they have the ability to spend it with the obligation authority. States that aren't going to use all of that, there's kind of a lottery in some ways at the end of the year where states that have projects that are ready to go that can be obligated immediately can take advantage of that. And for the last, I think 3 or 4 years, NDOT has been partnering with us. And part of the way that we've been able to support this is through our transportation improvement program and using advanced construction, where we take projects and they follow all the federal rules, they go through all the process, but they're paid for locally with the note that they're eligible to be reimbursed by federal funds down the line. So Bellevue's been a user of that. City of Omaha has been a big user of that. Sarpy County's been a big user of that for us. And it allows us to have this kind of interesting partnership with the state. And so more to come on that, but it looks like there will be about $7 million of that where funding and projects programmed in our TIP will be able to take advantage of that. And it's just a great tool, gets our communities paid a little sooner than we otherwise would be. So big opportunity there. And with that, if you don't mind, I'll actually just introduce
Yes,
Laura.
please
So
do.
Laura, we briefed last month. We had a big agenda last month, but I wanted to give Laura the opportunity to talk a little bit about our site visit to Detroit.
Hi, so I will try to be a little bit brief, but it's so much fun and I love talking about it. So you'll have to bear with me a little bit. But so our Heartland 2050 learning site visits, we started them in 2016. We take 20 to 30 people cross-representational from across the community to go and visit an aspirational or peer city to kind of learn from what they're doing there and how we can implement some of those things back here at home. So we have gone, this was our 7th trip. We go every other year and it's about 3 or 4 days in the spring. So this was our trip. This year we went to Detroit in May, so just about 6 weeks ago already, which seems crazy. We have 20 attendees, so that was 15 community members and 5 staff. Some of the staff were there to kind of just support the logistics of the trip, and then some other, we have our comm dev and a transportation planner as well to kind of network and learn as well. The cost is about $2,000 per person. That just covers our expenses. We're not trying to make money off this at all, but we were hoping the expenses wouldn't go up too much this year, and thank you to admin team for working on that. And then there are several kind of topics. We'll roll through what we did on the agenda. This is the front and back of the agenda and map that everybody gets when we go. So I just wanted to show that because it is a lot of fun to look at. But we started off, we did a travel day on Monday, but then we started off the trip with SEMCOG, so that's Southeast Michigan Council of Governments, so a peer agency to us that we work with a lot. We see them at NARC conferences and some of the other work that we do. So they did a walking tour of us through downtown just to kind of familiarize with that. Then we worked with the Detroit Riverfront Conservancy. They have been voted the best riverfront in the USA. We might be, I was gonna say, we might have to go up against them and see, but it was pretty phenomenal. I will say a lot of what they have done there is very similar to what we've done. They have really supplemented that with trails and trail-oriented development around that. So we got to see quite a bit of things. Their brand new Riverfront Park is that big picture on the bottom right. But a lot of trails. We did about a 5-mile bike ride kind of through downtown and saw some other neighborhoods. It was really great. We ended up at Corner Ballpark. So this was the old home of the, oh my God, why can't I think of Tigers, the Detroit Tigers. So this is similar to Rosenblatt, how it was kind of a stadium in the middle of a community and they really built that community around that. And then when the stadium moved, which we also got, you'll see we toured the new stadium, the community around there just really kind of was disinvested and they really had to look at how they were taking that. How are we moving forward in a new way? So the Police Athletic League actually runs that and they run a ton of events, they run a ton of games. Really interesting. So now it's kind of become the center of the focus of their new community that they're rebuilding out there. We like to go on different transit options and kind of experience that. A lot of people that we go on the trip with have experienced some of those things, but not everybody's been on a streetcar, not everybody's ridden a bike through a downtown or seen pathways like that. So they have a couple different, they've got a streetcar, one line of a streetcar, just like we will have shortly. So it's good to just kind of get there and get people to see what that's like, also free. And then the People Mover is an elevated loop that goes around downtown and that's actually fairly old, 87, also free to ride, but really we built a lot of the itinerary around that as well, focusing on transit-oriented development around those couple lines. We also visited, so because we are a dense urban to rural organization, we serve all of our members, we like to get outside of the city proper and go visit a suburb. So we went to Novi, Michigan, just about 30 minutes outside and saw a number of kind of parks and projects that they're doing there. They did some interesting work around kind of selecting retail to go into different developments and some interesting parks. So again, a lot of fun. And we ended the tour out with a Comerica Park tour. So this is their new stadium. And just learned about how they kind of incorporated some of the old history into the new stadium, how they situated it in downtown, and worked with the areas around for, again, more of that transit-oriented development. But it's really cool if you have never been. It's right next to Ford Field. It's right next to their hockey stadium, whatever that's called, don't ask me.
Little
But
Caesars Arena.
sorry, thank you, Mike. So it was really neat to kind of see how everything is situated, and I know that's obviously we're the sports heavy here in our area as well, and we've always talked about having kind of professional teams and what that looks like. So it was a good chance to kind of see that, just stay off the grass.
Yeah.
Don't touch the grass.
It's against the wall or something.
But it was nice to kind of see the old stadium and how that was being used, and then the new stadium and how things have been built around that and how that impacts the community. We also got to go to a couple neighborhoods. So Greektown, if you happen to pay attention to the news, they've just had a multi-million-dollar kind of renovation of their whole area, closing down some of the street to traffic and building in a lot of streetscape. So we learned firsthand about that, as well as going to Corktown, which is where that the old field was, and learning about kind of the neighborhood framework that they're rebuilding that community, as well as Michigan Central was their old train station that was they thought they were gonna tear it down for 20 years, but they spent $1 billion to reinvest in that. It's become kind of an innovation district. So we learned about that and got to see all of that stuff. Thanks. And so that was a great trip. It's always a whirlwind. Part of the trip is getting the participants who attend to know each other and learn about each other, and come back with projects and work on projects together. But our next site visit, we're gonna go back to Salt Lake City. It was the site of our first learning site visit. A lot of our Heartland 2050 vision and the work was built off what they did in Salt Lake City. They will be hosting the Olympics for a second time. Shortly after, we will be out there. So we hope to learn kind of how they prepared the first time, what lessons they learned, and how they pulled that to the second time, and really preparing for those large community-wide events. So, and another thing that we're doing this time is we've got an interest form that is kind of just live on our site all the time. We do make invitations for people to go on that, but it's really nice to have people say, like, you don't know who I am yet, but I'm really interested in this. So we hope that we'll get some more interest from that and people signing up. So
yeah.
Any questions? I know a couple of you have gone on these before, so I don't know if anybody wants to talk about a site visit or have questions about it, but they're a lot of fun. It's a good way to get to know people and bring back some fun ideas. So.
Yeah, I don't think you want to discount the relationships that are built between the people that go last for
yeah.
And that was a big benefit for me. I went to Indianapolis, Charlotte, both of them were equally beneficial.
But yeah, that's the point. We have, we had a new mayor. We had Mayor Shootout come from Council Bluffs, and just kind of, obviously you've been in the community and been a council member before, but building new relationships for her new role, and we just find that very valuable. So
yeah, and I would say that's been an interest of ours. Councilman, you were one of the first elected officials to travel with us on one of these, but this year we actually had 4 go with us. City council, county supervisor, and Supervisor Miller, Mayor Shudak, and then Eric Williams, obviously from the OPPD board. And so for us, it's an interesting way of kind of building those relationships, trying to be really intentional about putting that group together. So it is people that probably aren't working with each other every day. But for us, it's also, for elected officials in particular, it's an opportunity to see how other communities are doing that. Oftentimes we're greeted by other elected officials, and it's an opportunity for peer exchange on that front too. So kudos to Laura, kudos to Christina and
yes,
Liz,
Christina and Liz,
all the logistical help, and Jody, she's not here, but she did all the graphics and actually attended this time too,
yes,
which was excellent. So, and Carlos attended, who else went? Lindsay?
Oh, Lindsay
Grant.
Lindsay and Grant, that's right. Yes, Lindsay went as well. And so we were able to open it up to staff as well, which is fantastic. But yeah, thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Yeah.
Laura.
Yeah, thank you, Laura.
Thanks, thanks.
You wanna do the next
Yes,
one?
happy to. So we are here today at the end of our kind of briefing and workshop with our federal partners. We've got Justin Luther and Luke Pitts from FHWA Nebraska. We have Jerry Doyle from FTA Region 7. We have John Gibson from FHWA Iowa, who have been spending the last 24 hours really with us, just kind of talking about the transportation planning process. But Justin, I'll let you lead us.
So just really quick, just wanted to thank Mike and his staff. There's been a lot of work and effort that goes into a certification review. So what the certification review is every 4 years, Federal Highway and Federal Transit, we have to certify the planning process that MAPA undertakes. And so a part of that is us coming on site, and Mike was not joking, he's been locked in the conference room for the last day, and we ask questions. We do a lot of work behind the scenes, reviewing reviewing documents, just making sure that things are in compliance with the regulatory requirements. But also one thing that we like to do, and we do, is take back all the good things that the MPOs are doing and share those nationally. So, which MAPA has a number of things that we will be doing that with. So. But just wanted to really just take an opportunity to thank MAPA and the board for everything that you all are doing, and we will be back later this fall. We'll put together a report. We'll be back this fall to formally present our review, and I'll have more remarks then. So, but thank you all.
Well, we appreciate it. It's a lot of work on all fronts. The team, they do a survey kind of earlier in the spring and ask us a bunch of questions, ask for links to documents, kind of the latest and greatest on stuff. And they came exceptionally prepared. They'd read everything and reviewed everything. So it was a good opportunity just to reflect on the last 5 years and work. And really Carlos, again, just did an exceptional job of preparing us for the conversation yesterday and today. So thanks to the whole team. We had Lindsay in there, we had Cord in there, Jim in there, we had Laura in there. There was a lot of folks that were able to, Josh was in there, had a lot of folks in there able to kind of talk about their work and share everything. Matt as well, forgot about Matt. Matt's hiding back there, I can't see. We got too many people here, I can't see it. But yeah, thank you, Justin, for that. And that is it, Mayor.
Okay. Public comments, do I read?
You can just ask those if anybody.
There was not.
No,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yep.
Okay, for a motion to. We'll take them all as one and then.
So moved. Second.
Morrison. Luke.
Yes.
Rowe.
Yes.
Shay.
Sorry.
Quinquist.
Yes. Old business and new business. Christina, legal counsel.
I guess I can take this for
Okay,
you
you can
too,
do that.
Christina, yeah. Yeah, I did just realize that we put Christina's name on there. So for FY27, so we have a partial update to our meeting. I put this in your packet as well. Our letter of engagement with Barrett Home, who we selected as our outside counsel last year, has a term that allows us to update or allows them rather to update their rates every July 1. And so in anticipation of that, we're updating the existing letter of engagement, which goes through August with those rates that'll start July 1. And that just helps us speed the billing process as well. We are reviewing as part of this kind of the fixed fee relationship that we have with them. So we have a monthly fixed fee of about $1,000 that wraps up kind of a number of just, one-off requests and employment related questions, things they can answer very quickly. Open Meetings Act questions, those are things that come up pretty routinely for us. We're looking at that and trying to find kind of the best value. Now that we have about a year of working with outside counsel under our belt, we're going to try to find the most efficient way, one, that we can track everything, but also just finding the way that we can keep our spending down as much as we can. And so these new rates would go into effect July 1. In general, they're about $25 to $30 higher than previous year rates, just kind of as a matter of practice. With your approval today, we would update that letter of engagement to acknowledge these and then come back probably in July or August with that updated letter of engagement that probably reimagines in some way that fixed fee relationship.
I just have a really quick comment. Just after this first year, I just wanted to share with the board that Barrett Home is very helpful, extremely knowledgeable. He's happened for a number of different items, with work authorization, just different things like that. So, the experience over the last year has been great with them, and, they're very, efficient and quick to respond. So I just want to get that feedback after the first year of engagement.
Thank you. So, for motion then?
Motion
at
to
this time?
approve.
Okay, I'll ask for a motion.
Someone approved.
Morrison? Yes.
Pike,
Yes.
Booth,
Yes.
Rowe,
Yes.
Shay,
Aye.
Winquist.
Yes. New contracts and agreements. Board will consider approval for the contracts listed below. Lindsay, the first one is resolution 2026.
I'm Lindsay Button, Transportation Planner with MAPA. I'm here to talk quickly to you guys about the E-Moto policy planning contract that we're putting together here. So E-Motos have been a pretty big problem on our trails a lot lately. It's been a pressing issue that I'm sure a lot of you have heard hearing back from your constituents. MAPA has been looking at this from a regional perspective for the last probably 6 to 9 months or so, probably about 6 months. We brought this forward to our TTAC and RPAC groups at the end of December to kind of talk about how we can move forward with some kind of regional ordinance, template, rules and regulations to kind of help with what folks are seeing with regards to these vehicles on trails. So it's important to note that our trail system is a regional network. So what we're trying to do is make sure that we don't end up with a bunch of jurisdictions pushing forward their own ordinances. And then if somebody's biking from Omaha down to Bellevue and they're hitting 3 different sets of rules and regulations, something we're trying to avoid. We brought this in front of our TAPC groups as our Transportation Alternatives Program Committee in January, and found that there was an opportunity to apply for some funding through our Heartland 2050 mini grant program to solicit consultant help on putting together some of these best practice recommendations. So we got an application in, technically the Tapio Missouri River Natural Resources District is leading this effort. So they got an application in within a week. And we have gone from application in January through probably one of the quickest procurement times I have seen since I've started at MAPA about 4 years ago. So we went from when you guys were able to award that funding in April, and since then we've had about a 3-month turnaround from full RFQ to selecting a consultant. So we're still in the process of drafting that contract, but negotiations are completed. That'll be an 80-20 split between our SCBG funds and local match provided by the NRD. Total contract amount is for $72,116.35. And we're looking for the board to approve that.
Lindsay, do you just want to talk about kind of the key milestones here this fall and next year on what we're working with them to deliver?
Yeah, so what we're going to deliver with this work, we're hoping to start work July 1, so it's very, very quick turnaround. We're working with Bike Walk Nebraska, who has a lot of expertise and policy in the region, specifically with regards to these kinds of issues. Bike Walk Nebraska is going to work in partnership with MAPA and all of our jurisdictions over the course of a 9-month period. We've got about 6 large group focus groups where we're going to be working with law enforcement, schools, active trail users, as well as suppliers for e-motos as well. We've got them scoped to do over 35 kind of smaller group one-on-one sessions so that each one of our jurisdictions are going to be brought into this process and consulted as we're kind of putting together these developments and best practices. The goal is to have a recommendation for the state by October, so that's in time to hit legislation, or hit the legislature in January. And then with our local ordinance best practice recommendations and kind of a toolbox for local partners to use in drafting their own ordinances to be ready by March.
And I would note on that legislative piece, currently, motor vehicles, bicycles, electric bicycles are defined in statute, and there's certain rules of the road and requirements and responsibilities associated with all of those. And some of these new, really electric motorcycles are being sold as e-bikes and don't really fall into one of those categories. And so there's certain things that law enforcement agencies have been able to kind of look at and say, okay, well, they're not following these rules of the road, but there isn't kind of a coherent framework for what we're seeing and really giving local governments the tools to make those decisions on their own and how to address them. So our hope would be coming out of this to one, harmonize as much as possible the approach to it here within the region, but then also there are things that need to change statutorily that we're able to provide those recommendations to the legislature.
And the work will include some trail counts as well. So Bike Walk Nebraska has already been training volunteers to go out onto our trail system to kind of get a sense of how many of these vehicles are actually actively being used on the trail, so that we have that as a baseline to move forward with our recommendations. And so that's going to include not only the vehicle types that they're seeing on the trails, but kind of behavior that's associated with that as well.
We're strictly looking at Nebraska, or we're going across the river.
We're hoping to do both. So Bike Walk Nebraska does work pretty much exclusively in Nebraska. A lot of the recommendations are going to be applicable on both sides of the river, and we're going to be reaching out to and working with the Iowa Bike Coalition to kind of help flesh out the council blocks.
That's their sister.
Yeah.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
So Bellevue's working on some of those ordinances, out of necessity right now.
We are.
We may have to change some things in the future. What are the other municipalities?
Lindsay, I mean, you probably heard the most of it, so.
Yeah, so we've heard a mix of things. So some municipalities are moving forward. Others we've been kind of able to discuss, and kind of what we're trying to do as a region is to put a pause button on that a little bit as much as possible until we can come up with something that's regionally appropriate. What we're seeing in some kind of neighboring similar cities and areas is that some of these pieces of legislation get pushed through relatively quickly, and then there are side effects of that legislation that weren't necessarily anticipated that can cause more harm than good. So we're trying to make sure that whatever we're putting in as best practices and kind of throwing the baby out with the bathwater, because as Mike said, like regular electric bikes, class 1, 2, 3 are identified by state statute. They are legitimate forms of transportation that are a lot more accessible to a lot of people that might not be able to afford a car. So we want to make sure that we're not impeding those transportation options while we're trying to make sure that everybody's operating safely.
Yeah, and I think the thing that we've seen too is a lot of law enforcement agencies stepping up enforcement of, motor vehicles using the sidewalks, say, and going 45 miles per hour. Like that's easily enforceable, regardless of what the vehicle is. It's just this gray area of where things are being marketed as bikes that are motorcycles, that you get into the gray area around the trail system in particular and those connections between communities. But I think, all of the things, the enforcing of the rules right now as they kind of stand, that makes total sense. We've seen Douglas County Sheriff, I think City of La Vista is stepping up some of that. There's others, I'm losing my train of thought on which ones those were. But the point being, we're seeing kind of region-wide, this has reached sort of a fever pitch. But part of it is there's a lot of pieces of this that we want to make sure that when the dust settles, that local governments actually have the tools to make the decisions that benefit what they're trying to accomplish, which is the safety of the residents and lack of using infrastructure in inappropriate ways, or without lights, or without helmets, whatever the sort of framework is that we want to make sure is in place, that we're able to do that, and really building out of law enforcement, because they're on the front lines of all of this, and that's who we've been hearing a lot from.
Anything else? Ask for that motion then? Second? Second. Roll call, please.
Morrison,
Yes.
Height,
Yes.
Rowe,
Yes.
Shay,
Yes. Sorry.
I'm sorry, Klug.
Hey,
I thought I missed somebody, but who did I miss?
letter B, Carlos.
Carlos, Transportation Data Manager here at MAPA. This is just continuing to work with Metro Transit for PL pass-through. Around this time every year, we do these PL pass-throughs to county jurisdictions, GIS. This apportionment is for Metro Transit in their work and effort to enhance their station area ADA access. It's a mouthful. New federal regulations are requiring the transit agencies to start looking at their transit stops in more detail to ensure compliance with ADA access. Part of the work we'll be doing a good portion of that. That is work that is being accelerated with our PL funds. Total for this year is $50,400, and we're looking for a favorable recommendation.
Motion made. Second.
Morrison,
Yes.
Height,
Yes.
Klug,
Yes.
Rowe,
Yes.
Shay.
Aye.
Yes.
Good afternoon, everybody. So we would like to engage UNO and do some data gathering and analysis as part of our TRIPS project. So this is about $120,000 of the award that we got through USDOT, 100% federal. We'll basically be looking at, we want to dig into kind of the prioritization processes of local jurisdictions, as well as we're doing transportation planning, we use revenue and project cost data from all of the local jurisdictions to do kind of put together our long range plans to be able to show like we've got enough funding to actually do all the projects that we're telling USDOT we want to do. So that's effectively what we're looking to do over about 9 to 12 months. We did go out and get estimates from a couple of other consulting firms, but UNO's Center for Public Affairs Research for both cost as well as kind of like capability reasons, we feel like they're the best choice for the project.
Make a motion.
Second. Any discussion?
Morrison,
Yes.
Height,
Yes.
Klug,
Yes.
Rowe,
Yes.
Shay, Winquist.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. So for the item here for travel, we have 3 staff that were planning to attend our Association of Metropolitan Planning Organizations annual conference. It's in Sacramento this year. And the total anticipated for that is $9,022.72. And so this is one of our national associations, and particularly with transportation reauthorization being considered in Congress, with the House kind of making the first action there and the Senate continuing to move forward on some of their committee work. It's a good opportunity just to stay abreast of all of those issues, but then also AMPO has proven to be a very good resource for staff in terms of peer exchange, finding kind of these replicable models that we can bring back and use. And in the past, we've also been able to share some of the work that we've been doing at MAPA as well. So those 3 staff be traveling, I think it's in September. Yeah, September 14th. So later this fall to that conference with your approval today.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Morrison,
Yes.
Height,
Yes.
Klug,
Yes.
Rowe,
Yes.
Shay,
Aye.
Winquist.
Yes. Item 4, authorization for some resolutions. Mike,
Yes.
any comments?
Annually, we have authorizing resolutions that allow me as executive director to execute agreements for essentially money into the agency. So program agreements for our federal transportation planning dollars, grant awards, and other things that are a part of executing on our budget and work programs. You can see the state and federal programs here. Good examples of this over time are things like our planning agreement with the USDOT and FTA that we just heard from earlier, but also some of the state funding sources that we get, like the Nebraska Department of Economic Development and other things. This is a tool that we've just been using. I mean, I think we've been using it forever, honestly, but part of it is just allows us to kind of quickly execute on those things. But then the money going out, the contracts and other things come back to this in finance committee based on those thresholds. This one is for kind of our overall authorizing resolution. This captures most of the things. The second one, which we'll have to take action on both of them separately, is a specific one for our UPWP. We use funding that goes beyond our metropolitan planning funding in our work program. And so the state, in order to allow us to capture that, wants us to have a separate authorizing resolution for some of those planning activities that are with non-PL funding. So you see those listed here with CMAQ, Congestion Management and Air Quality Funds, and then the mini grant projects for our surface transportation block grant programs. These are all captured in our work program that this board has approved. This allows us to, when those funds become available, execute those projects alongside our members. So we can take the first one. It's easier to kind of describe them together than one at a time.
Motion for item A.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Morrison,
Yes.
Height,
Yes.
Klug,
Yes.
Rowe,
Yes.
Shay, Winquist.
Yes.
So. Second,
Oh, sorry, was a check second.
sorry, Shane.
Oh, shit.
Roll call, please.
Morrison,
Yes.
Pike, Clue,
Yes.
Rowe,
Yes.
Shay,
Aye.
Lindquist.
Yes. Item 5 is resolution 2026-26. It's the final fiscal year 27 transportation improvement program. Court.
I'm back.
You're back.
So last month, we brought the draft tip for your review and then also approval of a 25-day public comment period. Not many changes from the draft. We didn't actually receive any comments on the draft tip. Most of our public comments end up coming during project selection period. We go out and actually send out kind of like little information sheets on the individual projects that jurisdictions have applied for regional funding. We basically wrap up all of that and we add that to the end of the tip in a kind of a summary document on public involvement. But on the draft tip itself, no comments. I did receive comments from both Iowa and Nebraska DOTs, addressed all of those. Most of the time there's some incongruency between kind of like the Nebraska and Iowa programs that we have to resolve kind of like in that draft review period. All of that has been done. We also completed an analysis of projects as they relate to areas of persistent poverty within the region. So that's been added to the tip. And then several projects needed to be updated based on amendments to the existing 2026 program. As you recall, last May, I had to approve Amendment 6. That was during that draft period, so I had to go in and make adjustments to the 2027 program at the same time. So basically, I've just duplicated those changes in the 2027 tip for the final. But other than that, not really any additional impacts to the program versus what you saw last month.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Sorry, second. Morrison,
Yes.
Pike,
Yes.
Clue,
Yes.
Rowe,
Yes.
Shay,
Aye.
Lindquist.
Yes.
Thank you.
Item 6, salary adjustments.
Sure. Do you mind if I take both of these together,
Yes,
Mayor?
please,
Just
go
they
ahead.
kind of go together. So with the budget last month, when we approved the final budget, part of that included a 2.8% cost of living increase to existing positions and budgeted positions. And that increase is based on the Midwest Urban CPI. It's what we've been using for a number of years just to kind of keep pace with cost of living. Two of the things that we do beyond that as part of the budgeting process that we always ask for kind of a separate authorization for the board is kind of the actual implementation of that cost of living adjustment for existing staff. And then also the authorization of a 1% merit pool, kind of that whole staffing budget for basically our performance management process. And so we don't have steps for our staff. And so this allows managers and myself to kind of make recommended adjustments to people's salaries beyond that cost of living piece. As part of that cost of living adjustment in the budget, we also have been for a number of years now applying that cost of living adjustment to our salary schedule so that as the rates, or excuse me, as our costs increase, we're not kind of cost of living increasing people out of their classification, that the classification kind of rises with them. That's kept us very competitive, I would say, too, in terms of hiring as well. And so it's been a good tool where as we go and we look at comparable roles, we're not nearly as far off as we used to be, several years after a realignment study. So that's really been a very helpful tool for us as well. So with your consideration and approval today, we would apply both that 2% cost of living increase effective July 5th, authorize that merit pool for the next fiscal year. Those awards typically come in January, and then also adjust the salary schedule as you see here on your screen.
Okay, so we'll look for one motion on this.
Finance committee.
Yeah, this comes with a favorable recommendation from finance. And again, this is in the budget that you've already approved. So this was in the draft budget, this was in the final budget as well. So, yeah.
Motion. Aye. Second. Include.
Roll call, please.
Morrison, yes. Pike,
Yes.
Clue,
Yes.
Rowe,
Yes.
Shay,
Aye.
Lindquist.
Yes. Item I is discussion. Is there any discussion for Just moving on to additional business.
Yep.
Okay, number one, the annual conflict of interest, the
Yep.
form, so.
As we enter a new fiscal year, as part of our receipt and use of federal funds, we have a conflict of interest disclosure that's required for all officers. So our staff does this as well at the start of the fiscal year. So it's an opportunity. The backside of that form has kind of a description of what sort of real and perceived conflicts of interest are. And so we provide these just for you to take and review and consider, or and provide back to Liz or Christina. And we just document those for all our officers and staff here for FY27. So just hand them out at the June meeting so that you have them. But if you have any questions, feel free to reach out.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. At this time, adjournment, if
Yeah.
there's nothing else.